that everybody in music is starting to use. Sports, majority of all sports already uses to manage and sell the tickets. But so that's what we identified as kind of what we would build initially. And then Osmo is kind of this secondary product. So this was a huge iteration towards product market fit because identified an entirely new adjacent problem field that we could go after, and we were probably the only company positioned to go after it successfully, which was, especially during the pandemic, everything went digital. So you no longer had physical ticket stubs. So you no longer had memory keepsakes. So this was the iterative cycle that we kind of identified the problem for and then worked ourselves backwards to get to the solution, which in our approach was, yeah, I'm basically just talking about that here, was to create these digital ticket stubs. So we started off with these ones where if you went to a Shawn Mendes concert, you would get, sorry, internet. You would get a, yeah, you would get a digital version of your ticket that you could play around with and develop these emotional attachments with because you can actually touch and interact with them on your phone. So develop that initially, but then again, by talking to our client base, realized we weren't going to be able to roll that out directly. And that was like that may still be the end game, but that's not how we were going to be able to get to market. So we initially had to come up with something that could stand alone to provide additional benefits. So for that, we kind of came up with the approach of building it as a fan pass, where this might be your fan membership card, but then also get you early access to buy tickets to the next tour, to then also get you to buy discounted access to adjacent projects. In this case, it would be movie events. So we actually have been starting to roll that out and seen a lot of success around that. I think I've talked about that. There were lots of different approaches and how we iterated that, how we identified what the right feature sets, even if they might be different than our actual kind of long-term solution that we're building towards, but realized we had to have a different go-to-market strategy than we thought. Our go-to-market strategy would have to be basically this set of features, which then would get us actually the proper foothold to unlock the real set of problem sets that we wanted to actually target. But from a political perspective, we had to take this kind of sort slightly zigzagging approach. Yeah, and we're starting to see a lot of success with that, which is actually working out great in terms of how the entire approach is going. And the last one that I have kind of talked or set up to talk about is still with Project Admission. Because we're going after such a large problem space, there's lots of different problems we can approach. Me being the type of person that always likes to have different projects in mind, so I can constantly find new smaller projects to go through that scientific method like approach of iterating toward product market fit, even though those holistically stack up to a much bigger problem set for the overall company. Or the overall umbrella company, depending on how you actually set things up. But so Awesome Apps is actually the next new project. So step back. Project Mission is the umbrella company. We have a bunch of different tentpole feature sets, which are getting us to actually go after the ticketing component. Once we secured that, we identified, oh, we can start owning the actual consumer experience for the ticket. That was Osmo. And then Awesome Maps is kind of this identifying that seating maps suck and nobody really has a good solution for that. And if we could actually iterate on the consumer experience for seating maps, we could unlock both new enterprise and new consumer problem sets, which then holistically stack up to a much bigger overall company. So for Project Mission as a whole. So that's what we started doing here. We took the same underlying technology that we built from the ground up for Osmo to give you that real-time interactive component on the phone and started building these 3D interactive seating maps. These are actually turning out extremely well, and they've turned into something that the industry really wants to use. And I don't know if you can see it, but on Zoom, the button was overlaying my button, so it's hard to open this up. But this is the most fun thing. I'm just showing this one off because I think it's awesome. We built in a real-time latitude, longitude for the actual events. Then built or used a library that's existing out there to actually use that information to chart the exact day and time of the event, plus latitude and longitude of the actual venue, to chart the exact position of the sun and moon for nighttime games, and then use that with real-time like lighting to actually show you where the shadows fall. And then because we've built 3D models that are close to the exact venues, we can show you which sections will be in the sun, and it's awesome. But it sounds awesome. It was kind of one of these things we just wanted to do, but it does solve a very real problem for our main client base, while also then opening up new opportunities for us. So the problem initially really was just that initial CD maps suck and they take a long time to build. We can actually build these quicker. These provide a better consumer experience and allow us to create a different kind of overall user experience, just overall UI and layout that's more heavily focused and adaptable for mobile, which is where the majority of all of our sales occur. And so then we also identified that, hey, we could use this also for enterprise. So within our larger enterprise workshop, our backend platform, this is now also starting to become the thing that as the sports teams, as the teams behind the musicians log in and want to see things like, show me where I'm not selling tickets, they can actually just see on a physical representation of the venue the sections that aren't selling as well. Click in, find more insights, and use that information to quickly iterate how they're trying to approach selling tickets for those sections. So that's the talk.